If referrals in your interior design firm feel unpredictable, it's probably not because you're doing things that are wrong fundamentally. You're doing the right thing still, but they belong to a different era. The playbook that most design firms are running today, statistically speaking, it was written for a world where trends used to last us a decade, and that world is now long gone. Here's what's changed. Think about how the client finds inspiration today. Instagram, Pinterest, an AI tool where they DI something and generate something in four different styles in 30 seconds. They arrive at your first meeting with 6 million saved references, a fully formed vision, and a deep emotional investment in a specific aesthetic. But here is the problem, that aesthetic was peaking 6 months ago. And 6 months later, when the execution is finished, then that aesthetic would have peaked 1 year ago. A decade ago, trends used to last us what? 8 years? 10 years? Think Scandinavian minimalism. Think mid century modern revival. 8, 10 years each. A client used to love their space, therefore, for that 8 to 10 years, the entire life cycle of the trend. Referrals came in slowly, but steadily and enthusiastically across that entire time period. Now that cycle has collapsed. Pinterest and Instagram, they don't change where clients find inspiration. Of course, that's one aspect of it, but they also change how long the inspiration feels relevant, fresh, new, novel. And AI has launched one more layer on top of it, which is a constant comparison loop and what else could I have done loop that never fully closes. The referral window, as a result, has moved, it has shrunk. Client distribution used to be there over multiple years, 8 years, 10 years, throughout the life cycle of the trend. But now it's front loaded and concentrated right around the time that the project is completed. That's when they're the proudest. That's when they post. That's when they talk. That's when they show off their house to their friend. 6 months later, because the aesthetic feels aged and the world seems to have moved on, therefore the project quietly shifts from being exciting to just being home. If you're not ready to capture that window, you don't capture it. There is a myth in our industry that most firms assume that referrals happen because of great design. They don't. Referrals happen because of memorable experiences and emotional resonance, and those two are not the same thing. Let's take two projects. Project one, objectively better design. Any architect would tell you it was a fantastic design. But the process, as any customer would tell you, was stressful. Communication was inconsistent. Timelines were slipping. Cost overruns were there. The client loved the result, but they did not remember how they got to the result. They did not enjoy the journey. Project two, excellent outcome, but the experience was structured, proactive. Client always knew what was going to be happening next. Which client do you think is going to refer? Almost always the second one, because referrals originate from memory, not just design quality. And that is the foundation of the referral flywheel. There are three components. Let's go through each one of them because different firms break down at different points. Component one, people remember how it felt to work with you. Not your drawings, not your iteration cycle, not the material selection, but whether the process was stressful or reassuring, whether they trusted you or second guessed you the whole way. Clients now arrive to you with AI generated expectations, and the gap between the Pinterest board and the project is wider than ever. This means that the emotional resonance, the emotional quality of your process carries more weight, not less. If the delivery creates uncertainty, even when your design is fantastic, objectively exceptional, referral probability drops significantly. Component 2, narrative anchoring. Projects complete, everyone moves on, and the client is left without a story to tell. If the story is aesthetic based, it has an expiration date. They use Nordic minimalism to design this kitchen for us. That sentence ages with the trend. But here's a second one. We love this kitchen and the way it's designed because we all cook together and we all eat around this island. That story does not expire. At project close, client hands the language. One or two sentences make them sound smart for choosing you in a way that has nothing to do with what's trending that season. Aesthetic stories travel for a season. Outcome stories, they travel indefinitely. Component 3, activation. There was this old referral model which everyone used to follow, which is you check in 6 months after the delivery, after the handover, and you would trust that referrals would keep trickling in. But that assumed a slow timeline. Again, one where trends used to be 8 years, 10 years, and customer did not change that frequently. However, Now the peak window has moved to completion or handover time. Your activation has to begin at completion. At handover, you have to hand over a narrative to them as well. And that's not just a nice touch, that's front loading the referral. First 30 days, specific personal check ins are now required, something that shows that you look at them as more than just a number. You remember the work, you remember them. And 60 days and 90 days, touch points that again reinforce that relationship. They have to feel like relationship building and not follow ups. See, you're not trying to stay top of mind forever, long term. You're trying to stay relevant during the exact window when the referrals are most likely to come in. Thing is, marketing, delivery, referrals, they're not three separate functions. Marketing, of course, attracts the attention. After that, delivery creates the memory. But referrals, they compound the trust and take it back to the attention for the next potential project if you capture them in time. The firms growing predictably today, they've connected these three into a flawless flywheel, something that compounds where one project builds on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. And that is what is needed to build a solid referral engine. If this landed, follow for more operational systems behind successful design firms and drop a comment. What was the last time a referral came in more than a year after a project closed? I'm genuinely curious whether you're seeing a window compress in your own business.